Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel where we're diving headfirst into South of Midnight, a game so unique it's like someone threw Alice in Wonderland, a Swamp Fever dream and a stop motion puppet show into a blender and hit puree. Cause today I'm breaking down everything you need to know before you slap your hard earned cash on this bad boy. Is it a hidden gem or a swampy mess? Stick around because we're about to find out, and trust me, you don't want to sleep on this one. From the twisted minds behind We Happy Few, this is South of Midnight, dropping on Xbox, PC and Game Pass in 2025, so let's go. So picture this, you're Hazel, a badass weaver with magical powers, stomping through a gothic deep south straight out of a storybook gone rogue. We're talking twisted trees, glowing gators and monsters that look like they crawled out of your grandma's creepiest bedtime tales. This ain't your typical open world slog, it's a tight 12 to 15 hour narrative adventure with platforming, light combat and a vibe so thick you can practically smell the swamp gas. It's gaming at its finest, focused, artsy and dripping with personality. Think Vampire meets Ghost of New Eden but with a southern twist and a banjo riff that slaps harder than it should. So who's behind this swampy masterpiece? It's Compulsion Games, the mad geniuses who gave us We Happy Few. Yeah, that game was a wild dystopian trip that didn't quite stick the landing for everyone, but it oozed style and big swings. Now, with Xbox's muscle behind them, they're back, swinging harder with South of Midnight. Think of it as their glow up moment, less jank, more polish, and a love letter to the deep south that's got me hyped to see if they can nail it this time. So, what's the deal? You're Hazel, on a quest to find your missing mum in a world where every shadow's got teeth. Combat simple but spicy. Think vampire style ability swaps with cooldowns. You're dodging, weaving, literally, and unleashing powers like a magical swamp ninja. It's not Dark Souls hard, but it'll keep you on your toes. Perfect for when you want a challenge without crying into your controller. Then there's the platforming. You're gliding, grappling and summoning platforms like a budget Spider-Man. It's smooth, it's pretty, but full disclosure, it's not gonna blow your mind. It's more chill break than precision masterpiece. If you're expecting Mario Odyssey levels of depth, nah, this ain't it. But it fits the pace, keeps things moving without overstaying its welcome. And the real star, exploration. This world's packed with mini stories, side characters with their own trauma, lore dripping from every mossy corner. It's like a twisted fairy tale anthology and you're piecing it all together. Alright, let's get sneaky. From the gameplay we've dissected, South of Midnight is hiding some goodies. Collectible foofs tucked behind platforming puzzles. Yep, storybook notes that flesh out the lore. Oh, absolutely. And those side characters, they've got mini tales that might just break your heart or creep you out. This isn't just a run and gun, it's a world begging you to poke around every mossy nook. So who's ready to 100% this thing? Now let's talk looks. South of Midnight is a visual banger. It's built on Unreal Engine 4, not 5. Don't freak out. It's got that stop motion puppet vibe that's equal parts Nightmare Before Christmas and Dark Crystal. You can toggle that choppy stop motion effect off in gameplay if it's not your jam, but the cutscenes, mwah, chef's kiss. It's so detailed you'll wonder if they 3D scanned the actual puppet. And seriously, the art direction's so good I'd hang it on my wall. And the sound, oh man, dynamic soundtracks that ramp up when a boss stomps in. Think Jak and Daxter 5s but with a southern gothic twist. It's haunting, it's immersive, it's the kind of audio that makes you forget the real world exists. And I know what you're thinking, the bosses, well, they're straight up mythological madness. Each one's tied to real world folklore, like a gnarly catfish beast or a spectral hag, brought to life in ways that'll make you go, what the heck am I even fighting? They're spectacles, no doubt, but here's the catch, they're telegraphed like a neon sign, dodge here, hit there, satisfying, but not exactly brain busting. If you live for sweaty Elden Ring boss fights, you might yawn with this game, but everyone else is fun, flashy romp. The lore though, that's where it shines. The deep south setting's rare in games, and compulsion's leaning hard into it. Voodoo vibes, twisted fairy tales, and a world that feels alive. You're not just fighting, you're unraveling a storybook nightmare. Alright, let's break it down. The pros: stunning art, killer soundtrack, and tight story that doesn't waste your time. And the combat, that's simple but slick. And the cons: platforming's basic, bosses are predictable, and heads up, there's some stuttering and texture propping. Unreal Engine 4's doing its best, but it's not perfect. Patches might fix it, but don't expect buttery smooth straight out of the gate. Is it a deal breaker? Nah, this is an artistic flex, not a tech demo. If you're cool with a few hiccups for a vibe that's strong, you're golden with this game. PC crew, listen up. South of Midnight runs on Unreal Engine 4 targeting 60 FPS on Xbox Series X and S, and for your rig, there's no official specs yet, but expect mid-tier vibes. Think GTX 1660 or RX 580 as a safe bet. Those stutters we mentioned might need a patch, so just keep your eye out. And if you're rocking a Series S, you're still golden at 1080p. This swamp's gorgeous, but it won't melt your GPU. Probably. Okay, wise ones, let's figure out if South of Midnight is your vibe. Do you love story-driven adventures with killer vibes? Check. Dig artsy games that look like a fever dream? Check. Hate bloated 60-hour epics that feel like a second job? Double check. This is for the narrative nerds, the vibe chasers, and anyone who's over generic AAA slop. If you're a multiplayer sweat or a combat only gamer, maybe sit this one out, but for the rest of you, this could be your 2025 obsession. So, should you buy it? Well, if you're loving the narrative driven games like Vampire, Ghost of New Eden, or old school Xbox 360 classics, this is your jam. It's dropping in 2025 on Xbox, PC and Game Pass. Huge win there, try before you buy vibes. The internet's losing it over this one. Twitter is buzzing, the art style's insane, give me that catfish narrative now. Even Reddit's hyped. Some folks are side-eyeing this platform, sure, but the vibes, undeniable. Drop in the comments what's got you stoked or skeptical about South of Midnight. Let's get this conversation started. 2025's been stacked, Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages, Fable, but where's South of Midnight on the hype meter? For me, it is spiking hard. It's not the biggest dog in the fight, but this AA charm, that art, that vibe, it's carving its own lane. Think of it as like the indie flick that steals the Oscars from the blockbusters. Mark my words, this could be a sleeper hit of the year. And there you go, South of Midnight in all its swampy glory. A tight, artsy adventure with heart, quirks and a few rough edges. I'm looking forward for this one. Drop a like if you're hyped, subscribe if you're new, and tell me in the comments, are you grabbing this day one? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.